and you're welcome to this episode of Binging with GameChangers. Here we capture success from different perspectives. We delve into the minds of people with celebrated brands and careers who've turned their dreams into reality and their ideas into lucrative empires. I'm your host, Seyi Banigbe, and when I return, we'll get right in. See you when I get back. Welcome back to the show, and we're about to meet our first game changer. Oluyomi Ojo is the founder of Printivo, a do-it-yourself web-to-print-to-doorstep platform. This young man built a new industry from an age-old business. He didn't just do that, he's disrupting the printing business in Nigeria. Printivo has raised about $1 million in equity and non-equity investments and boasts of a staff strength of 50 people. What makes him and his business so attractive to investors? You'll be finding out on this episode of Binging with GameChangers. Welcome to the show with me, Oluyomi Ojo. Oluyomi, so good to have you here. Have a seat. Thank you. Yay. Hi, Yomi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
So good to put a face to the Printivo name. I have to tell you my Printivo story because I'm a client.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yes. So I stumbled on an ad online. It told me you can make your, own complimentary card. Yes, and I was quite curious because I had a meeting in a few days. I didn't have time to start calling some printer that just gets clumsy sometimes with printers.
That's the experience.
So I clicked on it and I was fascinated. I got to the site and it says, hi, I've got, the templates, you can create your card. And immediately, the creative in me came up and like, wow. So I can actually design my own complimentary card. And then I did it, and then I submitted it and I got the mail. Your card will be ready, I think, in about 48 hours or thereabouts. And when it arrived, they didn't hear what though. Everybody, hi, do you know I actually designed this? Every meeting I went to, hi, do you realize I actually designed my
that's the feeling.
That's the feeling, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you set out, to give people?
So I think for us, one of the things that actually made us create Printivo was the fact that we saw that small businesses were going through a lot, creating simple things like business cards. So you call a printing company that you want to print 100 copies of business cards, and they'll tell you that, it's too small for an order. Why don't you increase the number?
1,000.
Exactly. And we realized that there are people out there who can actually just create their own business card. We are all creative in one way or the other. You were able to set up your own Facebook page. You were able to put your own picture. You were able to do a lot of simple things like that. So we decided to make the tools as simple as just setting up your own
social media
exactly. And the feedback has been very interesting. We see people creating their own business cards, their letterhead, they are creating mugs, gift items, even things like roll-up banner and the rest.
Yeah.
And the good part of this is that we take away the days of going back and forth with the printing companies, the hassle of making phone calls, somebody telling you it's not ready. It's just to build a completely different experience for the
and
customer.
you've done that.
Exactly,
Congratulations.
using technology.
But Yomi, you have liver. Like, who creates? So when an industry is saturated, most times, it's not attractive to the average person.
Yep.
But you dived in.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about your story is you actually grew up with a printer. Your dad is a print broker.
I grew up more like in the I grew up being surrounded by people in the print industry.
Yeah, and your dad was one as well.
Yeah, I was a print broker.
And I mean, he wasn't a billionaire or anything.
No, never even had a printing press of his own.
You imagine. So, why did you believe in that business so much?
I think for me, as a young man, I worked in various advertising agencies, created my own in 2008 and 9. And we built that agency for 5 years. And one of the major problem we had was working with print partners. So as an ad agency, you would work with videographers, you work with photographers, you work with sound producers, various vendors. And the vendors we kept having problems with were the printing companies. Either the print don't arrive on time, or when it arrives, it's
Color with us.
exactly one color is dancing
Yeah,
and the other one has gone this way. And sometimes in 2013, I told my team that, you know what, if this is our biggest problem, I think we just have to create a printing company. And everyone agreed. And it was while we were trying to like think through this thing and say, okay, beyond the printing company that serves us, if we are facing this problem of quantity, being able to print short runs, we are facing these problems of quality, and we are facing these problems of the prints arriving on time, it means that there are other businesses out there facing the same problem. So in solving our own problem, we ended up solving the problem for
so many
other people.
Yeah. But it still doesn't answer my, the question, ringing
like
in my
why,
head.
Why would you want to go for an industry
no,
that
not just that. I mean,
yeah.
you've said that, but I think the fascinating thing, Yomi, is that you saw the need, you saw a gap. The average person sees that gap, buys a few machines, puts it in a room or puts them in a room, hires a few people, and starts to print for the few clients that they're able to amass. But you looked at printing, the whole world is printing, but you then decided, you know what, I'm going to set up a company that would attract, investment as much as $1 million. Like, who does that with printing? No, so what made you do that?
So for us, it wasn't a point where, there was no point where we thought of how much we were going to raise or whether we would raise money from anywhere. We were thinking about how can we use technology to make these services available to anyone, anywhere across Nigeria. So it's not a question of where you are. It's a question of, do you have access to the internet? Do you need our services? Then you should be able to have it. I mean, raising money was an afterthought.
Oh, really?
For
That
us.
wasn't a strategy from the beginning?
It wasn't a strategy from the beginning. The focus was just to grow a business out of the idea that we have and using technology to scale it. And it was while we were doing that the conversation about raising money.
Who started the conversation? Was it offered to you or you were searching for it?
So the conversation came to us.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
I remember vividly, I was even out of the office then, an email was forwarded to me. It was sent in by a PE firm that, we saw, and this was 6 months after we launched.
Wow.
That we saw this business online. We've taken a good look at it. It looks like a very interesting business. Can you guys come in for a conversation?
Please send me this email too now.
and when the mail came in, I looked at it and the first thing I told my team was, wait first, I've never had this kind of conversation before. So I took my phone and I called Sim Shagaya, the founder of Konga. Yeah, who happened to be a friend. And I said, I remember what I said. I said, Egmon, so I got an email now, and this is the content of the email. And I was like, where are you? I'm in Yaba, can you come over now? And then I drove over to him, and then we looked at it together. And then he ran me through, these are the few questions they might want to ask. We had like an hour session discussing my business, and then, him running us through.
Prepping you.
Exactly. So, and we went for the meeting. And funny thing, less than 30 minutes into the meeting, those guys were like, wait first. You guys are 6 months old? I said, yes. They're like, you don't even look like a 6-month business. From what we saw out there. But unfortunately, you are too early for us. We are private equity firms. We don't do early stage deals. We come in series B, series C to buy out early stage investors. You guys are way too early for us. But we know people who do early stage deals, who have the appetite for early stage risks. And later that night they did the intro and the meeting was set up, and some months later we raised our first round from those guys. So for us, the conversation around raising money wasn't something that we had even before.
So what do you think they saw that made them contact you? Obviously, you there was something about how you launched. That's what this tells me. What was it?
So I think so I had spent 5 years in advertising and branding before doing Printivo. So we had so much knowledge base about how to actually build a brand from scratch. Until today, Printivo uses in-house agency. Like, there is no communication that we've done that we've used an external advertising agency for. We actually have our own advertising team that manages the entire communication of the company. So I figured that those are the things they saw that made them realize that, oh, this is a business that we should talk to. We actually looked bigger out there
than you actually were.
Than we were. We were just a 5. We had just 5 people,
including yourself.
Exactly. So
yeah. So obviously your website was tidy. What else would have been tidy?
So the site was up. We had logistics guy for delivery, 1 dispatch rider. We have somebody who was taking order, and then 3 co-founders who were taking various responsibilities.
Okay.
And all. So it was just a team of 5 people.
Yeah.
But outside, it felt like there were 50-something people working in the company.
Yeah.
And that in a way shaped the narrative about the company.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Guys, this one is different. He didn't go looking for funding. Funding came looking for him. When we return, we'll still be speaking with Yomi Ojo. See you when I get back.
Okay. So,
welcome back to the show. And yes, we are still speaking with the founder of Printivo. Don't forget to join the conversation on our social media platforms at the BWG on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Mr. Yomi Ojo, you should write a book soon, you know.
hopefully.
Okay. So I'd like to understand, where this drive came from. I know you finished from the Laduke Akintola University.
Yeah.
How long? Where did you gather all that experience that you used to start your advertising firm?
Yeah.
Because the popular saying is that, so when you finish school, you work in an establishment for years, you understand how a structure should be. Tell me, what was your experience?
So, in my 4th year in school, the usual industrial training that you all come from, I came to Lagos and I told myself, well, I really want to work in an ad agency. So I went looking for which of the advertising agencies wants graphic designers as IT students. Now, I was studying applied mathematics, pure and applied mathematics. So I walked into various advertising agencies in GRA, and they were all like, no, we don't have space for interns. And luckily, I ran into someone I knew, and it was like, I just started an agency like 2 years ago. You can come in, but there's no pay.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah, no pay, no problem, I'll take it. And they asked me the question. They said, "Are you sure?" Because boys will say they don't want the pay. And then when they come in now, they are not delivering on the job. And then they will say it's because there's no pay. But I took the job and did the first 6 months there. Also strike met us there, so I helped to extend the 6 months to 1 year. And I learned so much working with the CEO. I was very close with the CEO. About a month after I joined the company, the head of design left. So most of the works that
so even when they promoted you, still no pay.
So most of the work that was on the table dropped on my own table. So I was doing both works. While doing that, I was also running my own what we call PP in advertising agency by the side.
You're also getting gigs
exactly.
to keep body and soul together.
Exactly. So I did that for about a year and went back to school, graduated, came back, joined the company as well. And then eventually decided that I would do my own.
How long did you work with them after school?
It was just like a month or 2. So I just said that I want to do my own thing and spoke with my boss, and it was like, fine, I like that. I even used his lawyers and everybody to set up my own company.
Oh, wow.
And moved on to start my first business, Urban Base. Yeah. And then, and it was while running Urban Base that the idea for Printivo
came up.
And we just didn't give it a thought. We just went straight in and said, you know what, let's do this.
Let's do this. So from your story now, what are you saying? You're saying you don't have to walk to start business. Is that what you're saying?
I think our stories are different. And I'm a strong believer in people following their own path, right? My story is different in the sense that I literally started a business right after university, but we must remember that I interned for some years, right? For like a year plus.
Yeah.
And I worked very, very close to the CEO. Like we were going to the office together and closing at the same time. Wow. So think about it, a team of 8 people. Everyone has gone home. I'm still the only person left with the CEO till like 11 p.m. It closes. I mean,
that's
it was closing,
an MBA.
Exactly. This is someone that closes like 11 p.m. And sometime after that 11 p.m. he's going for a meeting. And I still have to write.
But you know why you're exceptional? Right? The average kid would have said, user.
Exactly.
You're not paying 10 kobo.
I went for most of his evening meetings with him.
Imagine.
Right? And met virtually all his circle of friends. we'll go out of the office at 9 p.m. We are going back at 12 midnight. And
you were having fun.
Exactly. For me, it was just fun. And I mean, it was those years that actually prepped.
In fact, months. Don't call it years.
Exactly.
Let's be fair.
It's just months that
Like
actually
about
helped.
16 months.
Yeah, that helped to shape
you.
To shape that period.
When you were studying applied mathematics, because I know you were selling cards.
I had days where before university, when I started selling handmade cards in University of Lagos. And those were very interesting days because those also prepared me for certain things. I think for me, being an entrepreneur would have been the only thing I would do if maybe if I'm not doing Printivo, I'll be building something else, but I would still most likely be building a business. I was raised by a single mom who happened to be very, very entrepreneurial, and also it's like it's in the blood.
It's like I think there's something about when you're seeing someone or something every day.
Exactly. So it's not new. Exactly. It's not new to it.
The hustle spirit was.
It's natural. Exactly. it's quite natural. Yeah.
Interesting. Amazing. Shout out to Yomi's mom. Well done, Mama. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So your business is quite unique. Most online businesses you find around, they'll say, oh, you can pay on delivery and you can pay online.
Yeah.
We noticed while my team and I were researching, we noticed you're quite different. You actually don't accept cash on delivery. People have to pay before you deliver.
Yeah.
You're bold. Because,
I think for us...
Why did you take that stand?
For me, and this is not just about my decision, it's about myself and the entire team. We were clear about what we wanted to do. The plan is to solve a problem, and we'll take all the risks to solve that problem. Also, we will ensure that we are delivering what we promise our customers. When we fail, we will make it right. That being said, it's an online business, and payments should come ahead of the service, just like any other thing, any other kind of service that you take. The truth is, I'm not a believer in pay on delivery, and I'll tell you, pay on delivery is like a shortcut to building trust. Right? Build the trust, let people know that what they are paying for, they will receive value for it, and then promise them and keep that promise that should, in case we ship to you something you don't like, you will get your replacement. And if you get your replacement, you still don't like it, there are issues, you will get your refund, right?
So you made all those promises.
Those promises are there, they are clear, and that's the way we operate. So if you pay us any amount of money on the site and you don't get value for it, you will get your refund, you get your replacement, and if eventually it doesn't work out, you get your refund. I'll tell you, what's funny is that 90% of customers that have asked for a refund, they've come back to the order. Because the truth is that you've built that trust. People need to know that my money with this company, if there are issues, I can get my money back.
So when you think of competition now, because in fairness, it's an online business. Nowadays, people just go to websites and just dub it, copy. When you think of that and how easy it can be to kind of copy your model, what do you then... What comes to your mind?
I think for us, the first thing we said to ourselves when we were doing this is that if it worked, because we were not sure it was going to work, but we knew that if this should work, then people will copy it, right? If it fails, most likely people won't. So the moment people started copying it, they sent a signal that, okay, maybe this is working.
Okay, so you like the copy.
Exactly, and maybe this is working. And then you get to a point where people can actually compare you to other people and say, oh, Printivo service is way better than, like, if you are the only one, that comparison is not there. Also, if you're in an industry and there is no competition, maybe there's something is not right about that industry. You want to be the number one, right? But there is absolutely nothing you can do to say nobody should come into your space. But one thing that we do differently, that we have consistently done over the last 5 years, is to keep our promises with our customers. And that way, pretty difficult for you to snatch a Printivo customer.
To snatch someone you're toasted, married,
exactly.
Right?
So, like, make your customers fall in love with you.
Obviously, and I noticed you're quite consistent. You guys send a lot of inspirational and business
so we do a lot of business emails.
What does that achieve for you?
So the truth is, we ensure that the customer is not here and we are here. We keep closing the space, the gap between us and our customers. We are looking at a future where customers don't even feel like They are outside the company. They feel like they are part of the
Actually,
business.
I get it now. So obviously, most of your client base are SMEs.
Yes, small
so
business.
you
owner.
advising them and giving those
Exactly,
points.
telling them those
like,
things.
yeah.
And we started something recently where we now cover those businesses. You know, we have videos online of those businesses. The idea is we want to grow as our customers also grow with us. And we are building a community of customers as against customers there, Printivo here, just render
long
the
as you get your
services,
money, that's
get your
fine.
money, and then walk away.
Beautiful.
That's not the kind of business we want to build. So it goes beyond printing. It goes beyond tech.
It's a relationship.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So if Yomi was not playing around with printing machines and Printivo in general, somewhere in your mind when you're relaxing, what would you be? Because the Bezos will tell you, and the Zuckerberg will say spaceships. You know, they just get into all these weird things. You're one of them. You're like that.
I mean, in terms of, are you talking about business or leisure now?
No, I actually mean like what sort of
If it's not business, if it's not Printivo and building, what else would I be building?
What would you love to be building in the near future? Like something that would excite you?
So first and foremost, I'm a very creative person. So whatever I'm building has to be in the creative sector.
Okay.
That's the first one. The second one is that there's something that I enjoyed doing recently, and I found myself loving doing more of it over the last 3 years. It's traveling. And traveling for me is not just about going to places that people go or going to do the things people do. It's like going to a remote town and just go mountain climbing and just do those little things that bring the little joy.
That's how $1 million people do.
No, and I've been doing that. No, it's not. It's not. That's and I've been doing that recently, and I really love it. And so maybe if I'm not doing tech, if I'm not doing creative, maybe I'll be somewhere in the travel industry. But
blogger, like maybe not blogging.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but whatever it is has to be somewhere in that space. Like I have to love what I'm doing, right? Yeah. I have to wake up every day and look forward to doing it. There has to be all of me inside it. So and that's what I've been doing recently for my leisure. So if I'm not doing tech, creative, design, print, I'm most likely be somewhere in the travel.
Well done, Yomi.
Sector.
You've done so well with Printivo. I'm proud of you. Well done.